Anthony Melchiori, I'm excited. I got a new shirt.
I didn't pardon the turkey.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality. Gobble, 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 Anthony Melchiori. How are you, sir?
How are you? Did you pardon your turkey, or did your turkey get caught and killed?
I got to be honest with you. It's not looking good for the turkey around this house, unless, of course, that turkey's me. I don't know.
I tell you, one of my favorite commercials of all time is one year when the turkeys got together and they say, "Eat more beef."
Yeah. It's like what was the Chick-fil-A commercials with the cows or something like that, right? Yeah. That's
Eat
really
more beef.
Yeah, that's really funny. I love that kind of stuff. Well, it's so great. I'm excited that we've got a long weekend ahead of us, a chance to be with families, a chance to celebrate everything. I want to thank everybody out there because honestly, Anthony, I'm really thankful for this incredible audience that we have 4 days a week here at No Vacancy Live.
I mean, listen, remember, I was going to say in the beginning, I had a beard and a sweatshirt. Well, I still have my beard. I grew it this week. But I wore a sweatshirt. No one gave a crap how you showed up. No one cared about sound. No one cared about video. No one cared about anything.
Yep.
They just wanted us to be there. And it was dark, man. I hope somebody's writing a book. And it was very dark in the first couple of days. We didn't know if the world was coming to an end. And now, there's, the president thing is hopefully over. And that is going to be behind us no matter what side you're on, which new chapter. And then the vaccine looks promising. It looks December 10th. We'll start seeing it roll off the shelves.
Wow.
So, we just got to be safe. And we just got all of our vaccines with our test. We all came back negative so far, knock wood. And, we just got to do what we got to do, man. But I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for you, my friend.
I'm thankful for you,
David. I'm thankful for David, our producer.
Yep.
And I'm thankful for all our sponsors, and I'm thankful especially for our listeners, and especially our listeners that I hear every day, which I'm sure some of them are here right now. So whether it be Michael, Rebecca, Daniel,
Steve,
here every day. Truly appreciate Colleen, Kim. I know Colleen's going through some tough times, but hopefully she'll be back strong. So thank you guys for being here. You're a big part of the show. And just so you understand, you're asking a lot of the questions. We're answering a lot of your questions. But a lot of the majority of our listeners are on our podcast. So when you see just a few people, or you don't see, maybe see 1,000 views a day or 2,000 views a day, most of our stuff is our podcast. People in their cars, people when they're running, on their bike, when they're working out. So thank you so much for keeping this live session of it very fruitful. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. And I want to say, Anthony, on November 11th, on Veterans Day, we were at the Live Casino in Baltimore. They just opened up the Pittsburgh property today. So congratulations to the Gordon companies for opening it officially. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Maybe I'll stop by there soon.
Right. And today, let me bring up the shot. Today, I'm at the Galt Hotel in Kentucky, or I should say I'm not at the Galt Hotel in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville's landmark waterfront hotel that served as a celebrated Southern fixture for more than 40 years just completed an $80 million renovation, property-wide over 2 years. So there are 1,239 guest rooms, 5 new restaurants and all. Should be pretty cool hotel for them.
So how'd they get in touch with you? They just sent you an email and they say, hey, will you post this?
Yeah, I get a lot of that sort of stuff. I have a great relationship with a lot of PR people after being in this business for 25 years. And Anthony, I get so many press releases every single day. So it's fun to be able to pick out some of the ones that are cool to be able to showcase here on the show.
The good news is I don't get any.
Yeah, yeah. And for that, you're thankful.
So me and David did a little surprise. Yeah. David, our producer, did a little surprise for Glenn today. We're going to do there's no guest today. It's just me and Glenn. So in honor of Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I guess it'll be an annual tradition. We're going to do a speed round. My friend Rachel over at Farrow's does a speed round with me when I work for her. So we're going to do a speed round of questions. So Glenn, I think you're going to ask me 20 questions.
I am.
I'm going to answer them quickly, and then I'm going to ask you 20 questions, and you're going to answer them quickly.
All right.
Who's going first?
I am going to ask you questions first, so that way I can put it off as long as possible because I'm very afraid of the questions that are going to come my way. All right, Anthony. Speed round. Here we go. What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
Favorite fighter?
My favorite UFC fighter?
Either UFC or boxing. Clarify which one it is when you say the name.
Holly Holmes and Amanda Nunes.
Excellent. Favorite musician or musical group?
The Who.
All right, I got to tell you guys, this is my favorite. I've always wanted to be a game show host, so I'm loving this right now. All right, Thanksgiving turkey, white or dark meat?
White.
Favorite summer activity?
Water skiing, sitting by my pool.
Hardest question of the day. Favorite memory? Working with me.
Is that a question?
Apparently, it's right on here. Favorite memory of working with me?
Favorite memory of working with you. When I realized early on that because I have a very specific way of working, and because, as you see in my personalities, truly two personalities, I'm very intense and I'm very funny and try to be light. I realized early on that I can be me with you. And if I was being a little bit of an asshole, you're going to let me get away with it. Right. And if I'm being a little like goofy, you're going to let me get away with it. And I appreciate you letting me be me.
Thank you. All right. Next, what's the most time you spent traveling in a single day?
I was in above the where was I? I was in Antarctica, and I was we went to 3 countries in 18 hours.
Wow, that's unbelievable. All right. What's one thing you've wanted to do but you have not yet done?
Go to Japan.
So same here. What is your best memory of being in the military?
When there's a couple, so I'm going to say a couple. One, when my general came over to me, or colonel at the time, he became a general, came over to me and said, do a little more, you go a lot further. And another colonel came over to me and said, I told you, if you get involved in everything, people will know who you are and you'll get promoted and win a lot of awards. And you did that. And that's why you just won Airman of the Year for the military base. So those 2 memories. And another third memory is when I lost Airman of the Air Force to a young lady who eventually I found out she was smoking some marijuana. But that's another story.
All right. You make sure you send me her name. All right. What would you rather get, a new phone or an expensive new tie?
Expensive new tie.
Rather vacation in a busy city or a quiet cabin in the woods?
Quiet. Depends on my mood. I'm going to say busy city.
All right. Here's a tough one for you to put through your Rolodex of memories. Best memory of working in hotels?
The time a young lady went through the revolving doors and said, Mr. Where's Eloise? Because that's when I learned the hotel business. That's when I learned my only job is to find Eloise. So that's a metaphor to me that my only job is to figure out your problem.
Beautiful. I love that. How beautiful. All right. Next question. Worst poker beat you've experienced?
Way too many. I was World Series of Poker. First day, I was in a small tournament. I got off the plane. I didn't even know the World Series was in. I waited online. It was a $400 buy-in. I had to do a speech early in the morning at 8 o'clock. This thing wasn't over till 4 a.m. I find myself heads up on this table. I can win $7,000. And the guy gets up, and if you know poker, you know when the guy gets up like he lost, that means he's going to get what he needs. So I have 3 aces. He has 2 pairs. He needs a 4 or like an 8 or something. So the odds are maybe 11%. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm going to win the first World Series of Poker tournament I've ever entered. And a 4 comes out and I lose and I came in second.
Oh, that is so painful.
$4,000 and it was fun.
So something like that might drive you to eat. Thinking about eating, what's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
In Iceland, there is basically rotten shark that they eat. And they ferment it, and I don't know, it's the worst thing. Andrew Zimmer, Anthony Bourdain, I think Adam Richman, or whoever tasted, all the guys you see on TV, they say that I think it was Andrew Zimmer said it is literally the worst thing he's ever eaten.
No,
I think.
All right, not including shows that you've appeared in, what's your favorite TV show?
60 Minutes.
Really? Why?
Because since I'm a kid, I've always learned something. I've always learned, and also it asked me to think. 60 Minutes is one of those news programs where it lets me make my decisions. It doesn't tell me what to think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So you have daughters. You grew up probably watching movies. What is your favorite Disney movie that you watch because of your daughters?
Lion King.
All right. And last question, before Hotel Impossible, what was your most best or interesting celebrity interaction?
Billy Joel. Okay, so this is my favorite. Did I ever tell you this one about Billy Joel?
Mm-hmm. But they don't know.
Okay, but this is a good one, and I'll keep it PG. And I'm not going to drop names. I'm just going to say it, and if they can figure it out, they can put it in the comments. I was leaving a very famous hotel early in my career, and if you know my career, you know which hotel I'm talking about. The probably top 2-3 famous hotels in the world. I'm leaving. They're throwing a going away party for me. I'm at the Harley Davidson Cafe on 57th Street, and if you guys remember it, anybody remembers it, before you get to the front door, there's like a V when you walk in, and so I saw a celebrity. This celebrity is literally my all-time favorite person. I've met everybody at this point because I worked at this big hotel. So I met everybody from Barbra Streisand to everybody. There's nobody I didn't meet. Michael Jackson. And I wasn't impressed with anyone. Like, I mean, I was impressed, but I wasn't like out of my mind, you know. And I saw my favorite celebrity, rocker. I'll just tell you, he's a famous rocker from Long Island. So if you don't, and I'll even give you that his kind of home base is Madison Square Garden. So if you didn't get it now, then you should probably.
Right. Well, just make sure you don't throw any stones in glass houses.
And he hangs out with Uptown girls. And so anyway, so I see him and I go over there and I go, "Hi, I'm Anthony. You know, you used to come to my hotel all the time. Why don't you come to the hotel anymore?" And he goes, "Well, tell your boss to stop trying to screw around with my wife. You guys put the puzzle. You guys put the puzzle. Who owned that famous hotel at the time?
Yes, this is around."
I said Billy Joel.
Right, right. So we didn't say that name, and we're also not saying the other name. But I do believe this movie. This was featured in the movie Home Alone 2, and somebody in that you might be talking about. Yeah. All right, Anthony. We got a few more questions from you, not prepared by Dave or anybody.
No, but let me ask you your speed round.
Wait, but these go right for you. There's just like four or five more speed round questions.
Oh, okay,
it's all for you, right? What was your favorite No Vacancy live show?
When I met, oh my God, the owner of
Michael Pomerank?
It starts with an S.
Sinesta, Carlos?
The African American lady. I forgot her name.
Oh. This was the Salamander Hotel. We're talking about Miss Johnson.
Miss Johnson. How can I forget her name? She literally, like, she changed me. Like, there was something about her class, her being a classical musician since she's 7, her having to deal with racism when she was traveling around the world, but more so in her own country than she did when she was in Europe. Then her, creating with her ex-husband a $1 billion business that is Black Entertainment TV today. Her just grace, her ability and want to do a 5-star hotel the right way.
Yep.
There's a grace about her that I will never. She's as close to, and not to overstate this, but I felt like she was an angel. There was something about her spirit that I fell in love with.
Well, definitely. All right, everybody, Google Sheila Johnson. You will see what an amazing person she is. Anthony, your favorite 5-star secret show?
The Aria Hotel in Vegas. Because
what made it your favorite?
And Shannon McCollum.
Yep, but she's the best. Favorite episode of Hotel Impossible?
That's, I guess, my favorite child. But I'll just put it this way: the Gurney's Inn has to be my favorite because that was the basis for everything. If we didn't have this crunchy show, this very deep, different family dynamic, a spa dynamic, a food dynamic, a room dynamic, oceanfront, wedding going on, like, it literally gave the Travel Channel and Scripps Network a mouthful and said, "Here you go. We can do that every week."
Awesome. Last question. If you're invited to come on Joe Rogan's show, would you swear or not swear?
I would smoke pot. I would do mushrooms. I would swear. I would drink. Everything he wanted me to do, I would do. And it's the only time I would ever do it.
All right, just make sure you have me with you because I gotta experience that one.
And
All
I don't
right,
do any of that stuff, but I would do it because I
a
was
couple more flash questions have come in for you, Anthony. What's your favorite city in the world to visit?
My favorite city in the world: Rome, New York City, Chicago. I like Cincinnati. I just went to Cincinnati. I really like Cincinnati. I don't, but there's two cities that everybody loves that I can't stand, but I won't go there. But I love Rome, Chicago, New York.
Last question. Do you consider yourself a builder or developer?
A developer.
All right. Excellent. Guys, thanks for participating in that. All right. Now I guess we're going to flip the questions, and you're going to try to ask me some of these. Now I got to panic. I got to think quick in my feet, something I'm not known for.
So I guess where's I've got to find Glenn's now. Would you rather get a new phone, rather vacation?
That's you, all right? Or is it?
Or Dave? Okay, there's yours. Okay, ready?
Yep.
And I'm going to do them quick. What's your favorite place to travel?
Anywhere away from Long Island.
What is your favorite place to sit on an airplane?
12C.
That's a good one. Where?
12C. It's on Delta, typically on 757s. It's a comfort class on the aisle, not right by the entrance, but also not right by the regular class.
We got to get you out of comfort class and get you in the business. What is your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory? Getting my childhood over with, I think. Honestly, I had a pretty okay, normal childhood. Nothing really super stands out. But I will say, I think my collection of memories is just that my mom making a great home for me that made my friends welcome. And I was always able to hang out and feel like I could be myself.
That is beautiful. And that is the goal of a parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. I don't have one favorite movie, but the one that may have impacted me most is probably Star Wars.
What is the top memory you have from college?
Top memory. I'm trying to filter what we could put for our audience for my top memories in college.
Well, for your child, not for your audience. The audience, I think you're adults. I think you can handle it.
All right. My favorite memory in college was, all right, I'll say my buddy buying me a graduation gift of tickets to see the Grateful Dead in 3 different states. And we went and we did a fun tour on that. And I think that really kicked off my love of going to see lots of concerts in a row in different cities.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
What is the job you learned from most?
The job I learned from most, probably when I worked at either Toys R Us or Wendy's. I think Wendy's is probably the winner, having to work myself up from making fries and getting all burnt up and oil all over me to trying to figure out how to get away to the most prestigious position, which was the grill. And I achieved that in a year, and I was very proud of it.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
What if you weren't living on Long Island, where would you live?
That's really hard to say because I have a hard relationship with being able to live anywhere else. I'd like to think something like North Carolina would work, Raleigh, Durham, or Asheville or something like that. Maybe I'd like to live in Boulder, Austin, Texas, or New Orleans. You just named, outside New Orleans, maybe New Orleans, the top 10 places to live in the country. Yeah, I love those cities. I just read that. What longest time you spent in an airport on delay? Oh. Not the longest time, but the most disappointing delay I ever had was being stuck for 7 hours on my birthday one year. Okay. What was the favorite type? What's your favorite type of meat to grill? My favorite type of meat to grill? Well, that would be a ribeye steak. If you're talking grilling, if you're talking smoking meats, that's an entirely different story, and I'll come down on ribs. Okay, sir. And then David said something that goes back from 10 to 1. David, I don't understand what you're talking about. I think it's the second half of questions.
There's the second half of questions because StreamYard only lets me put 10 in at a time. So just the next one is, if you look right there on the private chat, who is the one person you want to interview that you haven't yet?
I've had Arnie Sorensen and Chris Nacetta on stage with me, but those are hardly interviews. It was mostly them trying to avoid direct questions because they're in public companies. I'd really like to get one of those guys on this show. Hear me that, Marriott? Hear that, Hilton? Come on, guys. Let's get that dream come true.
Yeah, I should be able to hook that up. Where is the one place you want to visit you haven't been to yet?
Well, I did say Japan,
What's your
but I
favorite-
really think I also I want to go see Angkor Wat very, very badly.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate chip.
Will you go skiing with me?
I will go with you skiing, but I will not go on skis.
Have you ever got your twins' names mixed up? Yes, I'll answer that for him. No?
Yes. No, it's not that I'm mixing them up and think Jake is Ben or Ben is Jake, but I just think a name comes out that's not necessarily the person who it is.
I call my daughter Nina Lily, who's our dog, and I call my dog
Right.
Lily Nina. Every day,
Right.
every day.
My wife's name for me is Ben, Jake, Glenn.
My wife's name for me is BHB. You know what that stands for?
No.
Bald-headed bastard.
Ah.
Have you ever got your name favorite comedian? I just said favorite condom. Favorite comedian.
George Carlin.
Favorite hotel perk.
Favorite hotel perk?
Resort fee.
Yeah. Favorite hotel perk is when out of nowhere they just give you something to drink or eat as a nice thank you.
My favorite question. Have you watched Wise Gal yet?
No, because it's still not available on streaming media. I should just buy it for the $20 or go to the Lifetime offices and hold them at hostage until I can watch it.
I stream it all the time, so I'm not.
Where you should? Could you please send me the link then where you stream it all the time so I can watch it too? And I will watch it this weekend and do a full movie review on Monday.
And remember, this is coming from David, not from me. Favorite memory of working with me.
Favorite memory of working with you. I don't know if it's like one memory, but also in the theme of what we've been talking about, getting to know who you are as a real human being. You know, first when we connected, you were just somebody that I met on the other side of a microphone once who had just started this TV series. And it was really exciting and intriguing to me. And to watch you go to real fame after that was exciting. And then getting to interview when I started the No Vacancy show 5 years ago, and then forming a relationship with you, and not just seeing your persona, but knowing and seeing who you actually are is the coolest thing. And being able to have things that I know about you that I know that nobody else is allowed to know.
What's the biggest thing that misconception of me that you think is out there that from my TV persona to the person you know? Because
you have achieved what you've had, and on TV clips you are shown being very direct with people. People misinterpret that as you not being nice. You're the nicest person in the world, but you have high standards, and if people don't meet those high standards, you're not afraid to share that with them, and people get that confused.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So now, are there questions? Any other questions, David? Before I go to my next thing that I want to talk about.
What's the worst career decision you ever made? Leaving a journalism job in 2003 because 2004 when my kids were just born to go do public relations, and I realized that I didn't ever want to do that again. There was nothing worse than being stuck overseeing a team and working for a boss who made promises that you could not keep to your clients or to your team, and being stuck in the middle. That was horrific.
Ooh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have one. I think everyone was a learning experience. So David, why don't you come on for a second real quick? So me and Glenn have a surprise for you. We're going to ask you 6 questions.
Now I'm scared.
Each. I'm going to go first. Okay. What is your favorite hotel memory?
When I got a call from my housekeeping team that there was a guest in his underwear trying to break into a room, and I had to go deal with it.
Glenn?
I thought you were going to do 3 in a row. All right. What gave you the guts to give me a call and connect with me and try to get involved with what we're doing?
Because you, as I told you originally, you kind of combine both mediums that I like, which is hotels and broadcast journalism. And The first person I've ever seen to do that at the time. And if you don't take a shot and reach out to somebody, you'll never get anywhere. So just threw my shot up.
How'd you meet your wife?
I'm sorry?
How'd you meet your wife?
Friends, mutual friends. One of my close friends was dating one of her close friends. They put us on a blind date, and the rest is history.
Glenn?
What is the best day of your life?
3 of them. And I'm going to be really, really, really
not including the day you got married and your kids. Best day of your life.
Going to see the Yankees play the Toronto Blue Jays with my dad, and we stayed at that was at the time I think a Renaissance where they overlooked the field.
Wow. Okay. 5 years from now, where are you?
Owning a hotel.
Love it. Glenn, your last question for David.
Last question for Dave. My question for Dave is, what do you think is your greatest attribute as a professional?
This is a job interview now.
Hey, you already got the job, buddy. So you don't have to suck up and give a fake answer.
I honestly just don't stop. I just try my best to get everything done as tenacity. I don't know how to.
All right, let me ask you a better question. Out of every sport that you've played, which is the one you think you are the best at?
Baseball.
All right, cool.
What is Glenn's favorite trait that you admire?
He is just himself. He doesn't really. Both of you really are. Who you come across as on screen is who you are in person. So when we're hanging out, off camera, it's just who he is, and he's about as honest of a person as there can be.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Just so you know, we're a little bit more amplified just out there.
I'm a little bit more of an asshole than Glenn.
No, that's honestly not true. And let me just say, I'll co-sign what Glenn said about you in the sense that you come across as very direct and maybe somewhat intimidating, but you are one of the nicest people I've ever met, and truly one of the most kind-hearted people I've ever met.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. All right, now back in your box.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
So David's one of those guys, right? And I put him in a wood chipper sometimes where it's like he's in a situation and it's hard, and he'll may not at that moment be exactly what I need or what I want. And I don't hold back. And I say, hey, we got to do better here, that. And I think you do the same thing. And I think because he put himself in the wood chipper, because he put himself in this position, he's learning from very experienced people. And he's learning from the thing that you can learn, I think is the most important thing you can learn, whether it be David or it could be anyone, could be me, could be you, is once you ask to be in a position, once you ask to be in a company, once you ask to be doing something, and then you get hit with something you don't expect and it's uncomfortable. How do you handle those situations? Mm-hmm. When it's really uncomfortable, you might be really pissed off. You might be like, your standards are too high. You know what? That expectation is too great. Or you didn't ask me for that, but you're expecting me to think about that and be proactive. Those are the moments. Those are the only moments you grow. You don't grow from mediocrity. You don't grow from being good. You don't grow from people say, hey, great job, great job, great job. You grow when you screw up. Somebody turns around and go, dude, you screwed up. No problem. I'm not upset. Just don't do that again. I'm not saying David has done that. I'm just saying when you put yourself in a position, again, going from we not knowing him, I don't know him. Now all of a sudden he's working on our podcast, which is a pretty successful podcast. And really, as I do things and you do things, if David continues to do what he does, he's our first person that we think about, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I think he's a good example for anyone. Just go make a phone call, and again, I don't think that David realized all that money he'll be making either. Like he's working for us, and I think he bought 3 houses so far.
I know, right? It's pretty impressive. Of course, there are the little houses that you put on the property when you get something in the Monopoly game, but hey, they're houses nonetheless.
What's your favorite board game, Glenn?
My favorite board game? I'm not a big board game fan, but I love Trivial Pursuit. What about you?
I love Trivial Pursuit, and you know what questions in Trivial Pursuit? What's at the bottom of the Algonquin?
Oh, I could have told you that one. And I know the answer, a diamond.
Right. That was probably one of, if somebody said, what's your greatest achievement in business? And I never remember this, but if I had to really sit down and go through all of them and everything's in front of me, everything I thought that was a success in my business, in my career, I would have to pull that one out as the number one, because we did a PR event at the Algonquin that came out of the head of one PR person and me. And 3 years later, we're celebrated as the number one marketing piece in the history of mankind. And we are in Trivia Pursuit. Like
So cool.
Our marketing is in Trivia Pursuit. That's when I realized the force of a good PR company and the force of a good PR idea.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I just want to answer one quick question. Favorite comic book, X-Men, but I got introduced to comic books because of Marvel's Secret Wars in 1984. All right. Dave.
What does that say? Ray says, Anthony, look at us, please. We are up here. What does that mean?
I think maybe you're looking at the words on the page as opposed to the camera. But that's okay. I think so.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, but how to read the words on the page?
Oh, I think Ray is he's trying to sell something over there.
Oh, okay.
Presentation coach Ray. Yeah.
Okay, so should I get upset? Let me know if I should.
No. I think that this sounds like a challenge to me, Anthony.
Presentation coach. Really, Ray? Don't bust my balls today, all right?
Yeah. All right. Dave, if you could bring up those audience questions that we got ahead of the show. All right. Maritza asked, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be and why?
You answer that first.
I would say Jesus, because I want to get to the bottom of what really happened.
Jews for Jesus. I would outside of family, because of course I would want to have dinner with my dad. But outside of family, I would have to say Theodore Roosevelt.
Excellent. Why Theodore Roosevelt?
Because that guy was just into everything. He was a hunter. He was a politician. He was a family man. He was a writer. He was a police commissioner. He was a Renaissance man in the greatest sense of the word. And he's coming out of, if you think about when he was born, right? The last 100 years before he was born, everything happened. So whether it be slavery, whether it be revolutions.
Yeah.
So he is growing up with learning that firsthand from a lot of those people that went through that. And so between his brilliance and he's explored so much with the knowledge of being a young man with really firsthand knowledge of that 100 years, from the end of 1700s to the end of 1800s, I would really, really like to have a cup of coffee with the guy.
Awesome. I love it. You must feel like an X-Man because you're partnered with the professor. He does look like Professor X without the wheelchair.
Who's that, me?
Yeah.
I don't even know that reference.
It was funny. All right. What is an attribute you have discovered in yourself from 2020, a dumpster fire of a year? Anthony?
You want me to take that first?
All right. Resolve. Having to face unprecedented challenges and getting out of bed every morning and facing reality and handling them like an adult made me feel pretty good about myself. How about you?
Al Pacino in what's the movie with Say Hello to My Little Friend?
Scarface?
Yeah, so Scarface. When he comes out, he goes, "Come on, let's go." I learned that I am really that guy. I am that guy. I'm that guy that you want to dump an entire building on, and you want to, and then you want to smack me in the face and go, "Come on, you want more?" I'm that guy, and I think it just kind of underlines it for me. 2020, my Achilles heel or my kryptonite, of course, my children. That I can't deal with, almost no pain. Like just like I'm a big, I'll lose it real quick with my kids.
Yeah,
meaning like I don't want to see anything.
Of course.
So like any father, but as far as shit coming my way, I just resolve. I think that's a good word, but I get real. Like and we've had those days in the beginning where you were taking a knee and you were upset and you were concerned, and I smack you in the face. And there's moments when I had that, and I'd be laying down, you smack me in the face.
Yep,
And
that's right.
But I do that a lot in business, and I do that a lot. And it's like when people say, "Why me? Why not me?" Right? I don't want anything, to happen to anyone. But you make a commitment to God, and when you're born, and it's like you're going to take the good and the bad. You can't have them all good, and you can't have them all bad. In 2020, holy shit, did we learn? Think about how much we learned. Forget about how bad it was. Forget about the people we lost, like my friend, my dear, 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 dear friend who I lost. Think about going into Thanksgiving and being afraid of getting anyone sick, and thinking about having to get tested, and thinking about my kids graduating basically from the basement, and worrying about them all the time. But think about what we've gained. Think about that we went from no vaccine to a vaccine in 9 months. Think about that we're leading the way in that area. Think about how we've realized the internet isn't bad. It's good if you use it for good.
That's right.
We do without the internet, we wouldn't be on this show. Think about how we actually, divorce rates are down because people are starting to discover each other again.
Right.
Think about all the dinners you had with your kids. Even when your kids are driving me crazy, like this morning, my daughter threw out a whole thing of bacon. She came home from college last night, and she opened up the bacon, and I go, "What happened to the bacon?" And my wife goes, "Nina threw it out." What'd she throw it out for? She goes, "It looked brown." I bought it yesterday. What do you mean it looked brown? It was fresh as could be. She threw out my bacon. But I just smiled, went upstairs, and I go, "Hey, tomorrow, do me a favor. I'm going to buy bacon today. I'm going to wrap it up in plastic. Just throw it away again tomorrow." And I walked out laughing, right? So I'm just blessed to have my kid in my house to be able to throw out my bacon. So if you look at things that way, I think that's what I learned from 2020. It's like, don't talk about You say you're a tough guy. You say you're a tough girl. You say you can challenge anything. 2020 put it in your face and said, "All right, now figure this shit out."
Right. I love the fact that I got to be with my family a lot more and spend much more meaningful time with my kids. But I also love the fact that odds are this is going to be the worst year in all of our lives. So I have only good things to look forward to. Before we go to any more questions, could you, you don't know who Professor X is from X-Men? Andrew, I'm on your side with one.
No. Oh, wow. No, I don't look. I don't look quite as menacing when I'm mad.
He doesn't normally look like that. That's just a menacing picture.
I was going to say, because when I'm really angry, I don't look like that. My nose goes out. My chin stays very I look very calm. I don't look like that. If I get like that, I'm going to lock myself in the basement, because that will scare me.
Well, the most recent iteration was Patrick Stewart doing Professor X in all of the movies. All right, before we go to the next question, Dave, Kim Hodge says, "Will you give a shout out to my son Camden? He's 18. He listens with me sometimes, whether he wants to or not."
Well, I also have to give a shout out to someone, and Kim Forrester. I don't know if she listens, but I have a fan, and her husband asked me to shout out her 40th birthday. So I will be sending them a video right after the show's over to wish her a happy birthday. But I want to shout out to Kim, happy birthday. And many, 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 many more. Okay, so I'm going to
Camden. Wait, hold on, right. Camden. We got to give him the official shout out. Camden, thanks for listening to our show. Hopefully, you'll find a great career path in the hospitality industry that served Anthony and I so well.
Okay, you have 0 seconds to answer this. You have to, as soon as I ask you the question, you have to say the answer, and there's no hesitation.
All right.
What age do you feel like right now?
37.
That's my age.
My body feels 67, but I
no,
in
that's
here.
the age I feel. Why is that? That's the age I feel. That's my age, 37. Why is that?
I don't know.
37.
It's a pretty good age. I don't know. I feel like at age 37, I was fully formed as an adult, but didn't wake up with morning pain. So it felt good.
Right. Wow. I feel 37 too. That's so funny. Maria says, would love to glimpse into the Mercuri household. I'm sure it's pretty funny. I will tell you, did Maritza change her picture? Or was that a different
no, she did. She just missed. She used to have the hat picture when she was in the hat. But is that Maritza? Is that your mom? All right.
Grandma, probably her grandma. So I will tell you that it is funny, but I live with all women. So there were moments where my Bose headphones go on, and I go out in the garage or by the pool or in the basement, and I just have peace. But
It is Granny.
yeah, thank God I get that right.
Yeah, sometimes I just put on headphones and walk around the house and I have nothing playing. I just don't want to be bothered. That's my trick for the subways when I lived in the city. Yeah.
I can hear everybody, and I plan on nothing. So it's all about perspective. What would be your superpower? What is my superpower? Our superpower? What would be your superpower? If we had a superpower, Glenn, why don't you go?
Invisibility, so I could just be left alone when I want to.
Flying. If I could fly, I would love to fly. Just get up and go. See ya. Pew! That's very much my like a zoo, man. He shows up with Fred when he wants to, and then he's gone. Because that is kind of thing I do now. It's like I'll just drive around my neighborhood and I just like to move. Movement is. I didn't realize it until recently or the last couple of years. I should say movement's really important to me. Moving, whether it be in a car, whether it be an airplane, whether it be walking. Like I don't like staying still. Like staying home and doing the podcast and being home so much. I've had a lot of outlets or some outlets, but it's I could probably only do I can do the podcast forever, but I need to move, man. I'm hopefully if everything goes according to plan. Oh, I got a meeting and I have to be off by 12:55. So
okay.
If everything goes according to plan with my 1:00 meeting, I'll be traveling again on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I'm looking forward to that drive from California to Vegas through the desert. So my superpower would be flying.
That's awesome. That would certainly save you a lot of fees. What's the greatest professional challenge that you've overcome?
I'll take that first.
Yeah.
My insecurity. My inability to understand that the team wins, you're nobody. Through the Air Force and through a couple of my first jobs, I realized one time at the Plaza Hotel, I fired somebody and he told me, "You're allowed to fire me, but you can't take my spirit." That made me realize it was all about me, not about him. And that is the greatest achievement. And to this day, is my greatest achievement. And I work on every day is I'm not important. It's everybody else around me.
Yep. Awesome. All right, Ed. Figuring out a way to reinvent myself every 10 years or so. It seems like the natural path of my life is to hit a wall every decade or so, and I got to completely reinvent myself.
Well, I think that's true with everybody, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least people who want to keep it fresh, keep moving forward. There's certainly a lot of people that like to go into one station in life and enjoy that for their entire career. But I always get restless after a period of time. I get very depressed when I'm in something for too long. And that's my signal that I need to make proactive change.
Yeah, I have mine's about 5 years. I go from 3 to 5 years. And then I realize I get afraid of my energy. Actually, right now, if you ask me, I'm afraid of my energy. My energy is so hyped. I have so much energy that my number one priority is to just be calm and meditate and relax because my engine is in fourth gear and the world is still in first gear. So, I just have way too much energy for the world right now. It's just like I can't do anything. And so I am constantly doing things to ensure that steam of energy comes out as much as possible.
Excellent. Dave, any more questions? Anthony and/or Glenn, who do you have to thank for your success, Anthony?
My mother. It's if you watch the movie, Glenn, my mother didn't have it easy, and my mom was a tough lady. But my mom made sure that I had food on the table, that I had a nice clothes on. And she had a big void to fill with my dad and 3 boys. And she did what she had to do, as I say, to put food on the table. And, if you're going and when you look at your parents or you look at anybody around you, and she did a lot of good things. But there are some moments where it's like, whoa, I have to learn from that. And Tony Robbins said it, and I sent it to my kids the other day. And I think it's great. If you're going to be upset with things that happened in your childhood or things that happened in your life, you've got to embrace the good that came from that. So I say my mom because I learned how to be a good parent. I also learned the things I didn't want to bring into parenting. and I embraced that, and she made me the man I am, and good and bad. So I think that to me, the most influence, and people always say to me, you dress nice, or you're like a clean freak and all that stuff, and you're always prepared, and that's my mother. That wasn't the military. My mother washed the sidewalk every day. My mother looked like when she went to the store, she was going to the White House. My mom, if you cut my mom off, you're probably going to get in a headlock pretty quick. So she was that person that handled any situation. So that's where I learned it from.
Excellent. And my answer would be anybody who went out of their way to help me, give me advice, and tell me what I needed to hear rather than I wanted to hear. There's a long line of people that went out of their way to help me form me who I am as a human being and get to where I am today. I think we got a couple more questions. Dave, what's the next one?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to look at apparently to the questions because I get yelled at by one of our people.
Yeah, what are you going to do? What impact do you want to make in people's lives?
You, Glenn.
All right. The day that each and every person has the ability and to do it. Just if you put the work in and you make things happen, you too can do it. You may need help from others, but you have that power within.
That is exactly what I would say. And just to add to that, as I say in my quote, don't count on motivation, count on discipline.
Right. Next question. What's your definition of success? And do you feel successful? Anthony, you better take this one first.
100%. My definition of success is happiness, and I'm happy. I never chase money, never chase fame ever in my life. Never, not once. Happiness is hard, and I choose happiness. So, I'm a very fortunate person.
Yeah,
but it was a lot of effing work, man. You don't become happy by accident. If your family gives you billions of dollars or millions of dollars, which I don't have and don't get. I mean, no one's given me millions of dollars outside of me working my butt off. I wouldn't want it that way. Like, I guess when I was younger, I would want it that way. But anything I have, when I get my car, my brand new Volvo that I love, or I buy a new tie, or I take care of the things I want to take care of. Or I buy the things I can, or the vacations I go on, or whatever it is even a couple $100 I put on the poker table. It's mine. It's earned with my blood, sweat, and tears. And so I'm happy about that.
Excellent. And for me, I have trouble feeling successful, but the definition of success to me is not money. It's feeling of having a challenge and meeting and exceeding that challenge. But I always have that albatross on my back that says, you got to keep going. You got to keep going because you're not quite there yet.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me back up. What is that? What do you mean quite there? What is that? What is quite there? Where's the finish line? Because
I always feel like I don't know.
The finish line is the box under. That's the finish line.
It seems unattainable.
Well, it is unattainable because there's no finish line.
Right.
The finish line is the box.
But we keep thinking, at least I do have put it into my head, that success means hitting some sort of measure, right? So you have to get out of that and just feel pretty good about all the challenges that you overcome every day. That's something that I struggle with. I feel good about myself when I meet and exceed those challenges, like I said at the beginning of this part, but I always feel there's more to be done and I haven't gotten there yet.
I think it's a really good, happiness is the way you should be measuring success, right? I may not be happy tomorrow. I'm happy today. I was happy yesterday. I was kind of in a little bit of a miserable mood. My wife even said, "Why do you look so miserable today?" Mm-hmm. And I just had a lot of shit in my mind. And but I was happy. I was real happy. I set up a movie theater in the garage last night for my kids. I got the video projector. I got the screen.
Cool.
I got all the couches. I put the heat in. The heat's in. I got my air filter. And
did you watch The Lion King?
I put blankets. And no, my kids. I don't know. I just set it up for them. And when I say kids, my kids are adults. It's 21 and 18.
But they're your kids.
But they and like this is a place that they can hang out, have their friends over. They don't come in the house. They're friends, and my kids are allowed in the house. And they have a refrigerator out there, and if they're nice to me, I'll give them a popcorn machine, and that made me really happy.
Yeah,
I put them out there like 10 o'clock last night. I had the lights off. I go, come here, and I go, as soon as they walked in, I put the projector on, and they sat down. They're like, "This is so cool."
Yeah.
That made me happy.
That's awesome. What were the key factors for No Vacancy's success? What are No Vacancy's goals for
We don't have
2021?
goals. Don't ever put goals on us, Mike. We refuse goals. We
Goals
have
are for suckers.
yes, I have zero goals. The goal is, I'll just speak for me. The goal is to keep having fun, to not like we have sponsors and we're working on a pretty big sponsor now, is to never have anybody put words in my mouth. I take criticism pretty well now that I'm older. For this podcast, I don't give a crap. I don't want criticism. You want to give it to me, I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. This is our podcast. This is our freedom. This is our way to communicate. And I don't want any goals because I don't want any restrictions. Once you put goals, you have to have restrictions. If this goes, it goes. If we continue doing it and everybody keeps listening and sponsors still want to be part of our show, fantastic. If not, like I don't have any goals for the show. That's my personal opinion. I should say that's not true. That the sound gets better, the quality gets better when we're on
Yep.
scene. That we continue to get great guests. But this is the one part of my life that I just want to keep pretty open and pretty.
And my goal is to continue living my mantra: educate, empower, entertain. If I could do all three things like that, I feel pretty darn good about stuff. Anthony, before we wrap up, Mike McManus had asked us a question about what can we do to not forget about human trafficking in the U.S. I know it's kind of a downer, but on the No Vacancy show, before Anthony and I started doing this live every single day, I did numerous interviews with that. If you go to my back catalog of shows on November 28, 2017, I spoke to Ronnie Hung. I did a long interview with her. She was a survivor of human trafficking taken from her home in India and brought to the United States. I've also focused on it with the Department of Homeland Security in May of 2018. And in October of 2019, I did a great interview with Chip Rogers on that. That was episode number 178. So just go to back catalog of shows and check that out. So Anthony, before we wrap up.
Let me answer that real quick. I actually pitched a show about this, and it got declined. One of the shows, one of the few that I pitched, I got declined, and it was something they didn't do. But it's something when you run hotels and you train people, and even on Hotel Impossible, it's something we talk about. It's something is top of mind all the time. And it's not okay to turn a blind eye. We actually pitched two shows in this genre, and they both got denied. And this is my biggest problem, that owners turn a blind eye to it, know it's happening, and they just want the rate. And that happens. That's the problem. Because if owners took responsibility, it wouldn't be a problem. Go ahead, Glenn. What were you going to say?
No, I think that was great. One of the things I love in airports now is in some of the restrooms, they have signs regarding that. You could call a phone number or ask for help in the airport, ring a bell, and that sort of thing. All right, let's wrap this show up. I want to thank everybody for all the questions. Kim, that is really, really nice of you to say. We got to get going. Anthony's got a meeting, and I've got to go on a hike because it's a Thanksgiving holiday. I'm looking forward to making a great turkey for my family this year. And by family, I mean my wife, my kids, and just mom, because we're going to keep it safe this year. Anthony, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Okay, so we're going to be doing more shows after Thanksgiving. We're not doing any show tomorrow or Friday. Are we posting anything?
I think I'm just going to put out on podcast feeds best of shows on the audio only version. So if you're not subscribed to the audio only version, go to iTunes, type in either No Vacancy with Glenn Hausman or Checking In with Anthony and Glenn. Subscribe to the shows, and you'll be able to get these bonus episodes.
And I never ask people to subscribe, but I'm going to ask you, if you want to give us a present for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah, get two friends to subscribe to our podcast.
I love that. And don't forget Kwanzaa. And we just had Diwali and all of that kind of stuff. So for all of you guys, we are so absolutely thankful to have you welcome us into your homes every single day. Thank you so much for allowing us to hopefully, like I said before, educate, empower, and entertain you. Anthony?
You know how I feel.
All right, guys.
I'm very appreciative. And Marissa, you screwed me up with your new picture. I was always looking forward to the hat. Okay. I got to look at it close. I want to see how wonderful your grandmother is.
It's all right. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. We really love you. Remember, you are vibrating with love and light. You are pulsating with love and light. You got one life, so blaze on and
Enjoy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And be kind to yourself and people around you.